Do you have an idea of what kind of woman it takes? Or have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, I think it's going to take a village, I think. Welcome back to Secondhand Therapy. We want to remind you that we are not therapists or licensed professionals or any of that fun stuff. We are just two human beings trying to get better.
That's true. This is not a substitute for therapy. This is not professional advice.
God, no. You're also going to hear some ads. If you don't want to hear those ads, because let's be honest, there's going to be a lot of them.
There's going to be a lot of them. We're actually doing more than usual. We're going to do an ad break every 44 seconds. 44 seconds a pod gets you 60 seconds of ads.
That's right. So you might as well head on over to Patreon and get ad-free episodes.
Yep.
You can also have access to our little second podcast.
Our other podcast, where I told I'd pet a horse this week.
You did a very engaging story about you coming across a fucking horse.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to hear the story about me petting a horse, going over to Patreon.
Also, somebody commented on our Patreon, why would you want to trick a squirrel?
Because I said that in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, why do you have to hypnotize a squirrel? Can't you do anything consensually?
Yeah.
If you want to hear that conversation, it's on our other podcast, our non-therapy podcast.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
You also get merch discounts. You get what else do you get? ASMR. You get this guy on drugs talking about fucking space and time and whatever the fuck he does on drugs.
The next one I'm gonna do. Can you say mushrooms?
Sure.
I'm going to do some mushies.
Nice.
Yeah. Talk about time.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can get a TikTok filter and turn me in, when I start getting into it, turn me into a talking mushroom.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff happening on Patreon. We have a little mini documentary coming up on Patreon.
Did we film a documentary about my vasectomy? Yes.
Yes, we did.
Are you going to hear about something very personal that I went through that I never brought up on the podcast? Yes. Because it's a documentary.
Yeah, it's real fun. That'll be available only on Patreon as well. And we have a live show coming up.
We do. Los Angeles, motherfuckers. If you're in Los Angeles, come to the show.
Yeah, and if you're like, oh, are you guys going to record the show? Yeah, of course we're going to record the show, but guess what?
Only on Patreon.
Only available on Patreon.
Because guess what? If you buy a ticket to a show, why would we then give the show out for free? Right? That's not fair.
That's not fair.
So we are going to record the live show. It'll be up on Patreon if you're not in LA. If you are in LA, I apologize for sniffing. I'm getting over a cold. Now, when I say getting over a cold, I'm in the middle of a cold.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting over the middle of a cold.
Yeah, I'm getting over the hump of a cold. If you're in LA, come to the live show. It's going to be dope.
December 19th, Lyric Hyperion Theater. It's a small little black box theater. It's fucking beautiful. It's
a
really
cool
fun.
Room. Tickets are at the link in our bio on our Instagram. He's going to be there. I'm not going to be there.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I was talking to somebody today about it, and they were like, how much is Lou dreading the live show?
Yeah, I'm not going.
I said he's more worried about afterwards, people trying to talk to him in general, hug him, try to shake his hand. I don't know.
Because here's the thing. How many people do you think are going to ask me for a bear hug? How many tickets? 65? 65.
65. Here's the thing. I'm going to be out there kissing babies, shaking hands, hugging folks. Yeah. People's champ. You know me. I'm out there.
Yeah. And then everybody's going to leave and he's going to be like, oh my God, why did I do that? And I'll be like, you should have set some boundaries. And he'll be like, I don't know how.
Yeah, you get it. It's going to be this on the live. So it'll be super fun. December 19th, Lyric Hyperion here in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's a long intro.
Hey, you know what? They wouldn't hear any of this
on Patreon.
If you were on Patreon.
The intro on Patreon is under 15 seconds every episode.
It's crazy. It gets
shorter. And if you think I'm fucking lying, do some research. You can only research it on Patreon.
Also, One last thing.
Oh my God, what?
You can contact us. You can send us mail. We have a P.O. box. You can send us text messages. You can send us voicemails. We do have some text messages and voicemails to get to.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, a lot of people ask, I can't find the P.O. box. It's on the Instagram. P.O. Box 511, Burbank, California. 9150. I want to say 3.
I don't.
It's either 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Go to our Instagram. In our story highlights, it says contact us. Click it. I don't have no P.O. box.
I barely know my own phone number.
That's true.
Enjoy the episode.
310. Did I get it right? You could beep it.
Yes.
I got it right? I got it right?
Yeah, you did.
I knew it. To be honest, I have been debating all day long whether I'm going to share this with you. It's possible that I learned in therapy today
Yes.
that on occasion I might like to be needed. Now, shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Boy.
Wow.
Now, when we came to that and I said, I'm going to hang up, because I also needed to go in person because I'm sick.
Yeah.
So I did on the computer, which I hate.
Yeah.
Different reasons, though. What is yours rooted in? Codependence?
What do you mean?
Your desire to be needed?
Well, abandonment issues.
Abandonment issues.
Yeah, if you don't need me, then you'll leave.
Mine
Yeah.
is not. No, sir.
Well, okay.
Mine is the continued... It's the biggest thing I'm working on right now, and I'm just now realizing how much it's tying to other things. It's my struggle in just being. I can't just be.
Well, I see you just be all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
90% of the time, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, chilling.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you mean you just can't be? That is...
I've worked on it for 5 years.
Okay.
But what we were talking about is we're going to our new city this weekend.
Yeah.
To go scout some places to live.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's kind of a big deal. How does it look? How does it feel? And I was like, it feels like nothing. And I told her how foreign it felt because I'm typically so stressed out about these things that I've missed a detail, that I haven't planned something. And like at this point, I'm just like, well, until Saturday, there's nothing to do. And that feeling of calm is uncomfortable.
Now, is this also a little bit of the new medication working in your favor of like that calmness?
If it is, I'm Team Zoloft.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think I'm finally hitting a point where I'm starting to let go of those little things. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel uncomfortable in this calm, and I like the fact that I'm not stressed out and all that stuff is weird, and it feels unsafe. And that, like, I'm craving chaos or something, so I have something to fix. Because I can't just be and wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting for this realtor something to come up, or something or you're going out of town. Like, I'm waiting for something to happen so I can be like, oh, okay, cool. Let me take care of this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in the past, is it, it's not so much being like a busybody. It's more so like needing to fix.
It's
not so much like sitting still, right? It's like,
yeah, it's like I can't just be.
yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a learned behavior from my childhood and a job I had when I was working at the bank. Shout out to Wells Fargo. Go fuck yourselves. Horrific company to work for.
Yeah.
I can't speak to them now, but when I was with them, toxic and abusive.
Nice.
Anytime I was at work, I was just completely stressed out of my mind. And like,
just unorganized there or what?
Yeah, nothing was good enough. Like every goal was unattainable. You hit the goal, they go, okay, well, tomorrow's goal is 120%. You're like,
yeah,
never good enough. And yeah, that job was just so fucking miserable that I think it kind of got me programmed to like never be satisfied. Like always have to fix. Even if there's nothing to fix, I got to fix it so it's better. Let me make it better. So like the trip this weekend, even though there's nothing to fix, I'm like looking for things I can plan or to like make it a hair smoother. Today I was looking up so stupid. I looked up a map of all the houses that we liked that we're going to see, and then overlaid a map of post offices. And I was like, I wonder if I can predict which house so I get the closest. And I was going to set up our P.O. box today.
Oh my God.
That way, when we're there, we could just grab the keys, and then the P.O. box is done. Because, well, that's just so much smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I catch myself doing things like that, and I'm like, oh, settle the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't just be. I got to do something to work on this trip.
A few follow-up questions.
All right.
How much of that has to do with control?
I don't know. I didn't really talk about it. Didn't really get into it. My instinct now, probably some, I would say little, but some. For me, it feels like just a constant double check. Not like a control thing, but I'm afraid to make mistakes. That's what it is. Yeah. If anything goes wrong on this trip this weekend, it's going to be my fault because I didn't double check it. It's going to be my fault. And that can't happen.
That can't happen.
That cannot happen.
Yeah, that was the second follow-up is one was control and the other was trust. And why do you, a follow-up to the follow-up, why do you feel like you are the one who knows best?
What part of what I said do you think was me saying I think I know best?
You're the one that makes sure that it happens. And if you don't do it, then it messes up and then nobody else can fix it. You have to fix it. You're the one.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying if anything goes wrong, it is my fault. Just that's how it'll be.
Okay.
You'll say it's my fault. She'll say it's my fault.
Oh.
And they'll be like, well, why didn't you? And I'll be like, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if anything goes wrong, I'm going to be blamed. It's going to be my fault.
Okay. I was leaning into the trust thing about you know best too because you were trying to predict where we're going to be and you're already doing this and you're like, I know that this is the best option and
I'm trying to save us 8 minutes 2 months from now. So yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's insecurity and a little bit of shame in there.
What did you hear?
What do you think that is?
What is what?
People blaming you or like it coming back on you. What do you think that's rooted in?
I think that's rooted in having parents that it wasn't okay to make mistakes.
Yes, and what feelings are those?
Now, I think most things that, like, when you get to roots of things in therapy, I think most things are rooted in shame.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like an insecurity, though. It feels like a defense. Like, I have to be, like, you're not going to get me. Okay. I just got to be ahead of it. So I do think it is rooted in shame, but not because of, excuse me, because of like a consequence that I faced. I think it's more of a programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing you're not wired to be like, oh, I'm not sure of myself, so they're going to be shit.
Yeah.
Not that. It's just that I'm going to catch the blame for this
Yeah.
because it happened.
Yeah. I can't just be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Super tight.
So
if I hear one fucking word this weekend, I'm just kidding.
I know we're going to be there on time.
Buddy.
We're going to be...
We might head out Friday night.
Exactly. I know one thing. I know we're going to be early.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you're doing to work on just being? Asking for a friend.
Well, I've gotten a lot better at it, as you've noticed.
Yeah.
But really it's being uncomfortable. Like if I am just being, if I get the urge to go predict where we're going to live so I can find our P.O. box and get that set up, I just take a second. I'm like, this doesn't matter right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good. But knowing that doesn't take away the feeling.
Yeah.
So then you just have to be okay sitting with that feeling. And eventually it'll fade. And then the more you do that, the easier it becomes. Just like anything else. It's like working a muscle.
Do you find yourself ruminating about it?
No.
Even if you have to walk away from it, you're not sitting there just thinking like, God, I should be working on that. I gotta fucking do that.
No. I've gotten pretty good at if like once I've decided to walk away from the thing, then
yeah.
Because then if I go back, I'm not doing what I said I was going to do.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And it's very important to me that I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, I know that.
So,
yeah. We've had that miscommunication a few times where it's been like, you said you're going to do that thing. And in my ADHD brain, I'm like, yeah, that's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm going to get to it next summer.
Yeah. And you're like, no, I thought it was like what you're doing right now. I'm like, oh, no, God, no. It's on a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's that is very important to you.
When you have a list and something goes on a list, what's the timetable for a list? Is it a daily?
It's roughly a weekly.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So if my to-do list over there, I write one at the beginning of every week, and I get through it throughout the week.
Are they prioritized?
No, God, no. I know if something has like a priority to it. Like I got to book a fucking plane ticket for this thing. I know I got to do that sooner than later. Or I got to email this person back or whatever. Like I know that there are certain times attached to or deadlines, but nothing is in like an order.
My asshole just got tight.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
No, man. It's all, I'll get it. I'll get there. Because.
But you don't always get there.
I do.
And then what?
And then it's done. What do you mean?
I'm not trying to put you on blast.
Yeah.
I asked you this morning.
Yes.
Hey, send out that email. And then I came around at 3 p.m. and said, hey, you sent that email, right? Because I didn't get one. And you went, ah.
Now, that didn't go on a list. I'm so sorry. That did not go on a list.
Where did that go?
It was like it got lost in the ether, man. It was like I get it, and then yeah.
Where's
sorry.
the ether? That's not written down.
No, man. Ether is conversation. Hey, we're gonna do that thing later. Yep. And then later happens like, hey, I thought we were gonna do that. Oh, fuck, yeah, let's do that. That's the ether. Now, if we were to like, order merch for the live show that we had to do, that's on a list. And that got done.
When did that get put on a list?
This morning. Well, whenever we were talking about it this afternoon, yeah.
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 Now, had I not said,
yeah,
hey, I know you've made it clear the live show is your thing. Where are we at with the shirts? Had I not said that, what list would the shirts have been on?
They've been in the ether.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called...
Because I want to kick you to sleep right now.
My life. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it needs to go on a list. And then I get to it.
So why isn't everything on a list? And then you can go through and see what actually matters.
Most things are. Some things slip through the cracks.
The important stuff, yeah. Just the important stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, if there's no shirts at the live show, that's why I won't be there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird... because I can't just sit down and knock out like an afternoon of things. I have to float between tasks or else nothing will get done. If I force myself to sit and do things in an order, it will not get done. So I need flexibility and some leeway in my to-do list so I can then float through it and get motivated for certain things. So I can sit down and knock out a couple emails and do some things on the computer, and then I got to get up and do something. So then I'll go and put laundry in or do whatever and then make a sandwich, and then I can come back to the computer, do some more stuff, blah, blah, blah. So like the list is fluid like that throughout the week.
And this is on your meds you operate like this?
Yeah.
I feel like when you first got on your meds, you were like a robot.
Yeah.
You would sit down and like hammer everything out.
I need to talk to my lady.
Is that on the list? Because I've heard that for the past 3 weeks.
It is on the list.
Which list? Because
the ether.
Multiple. Okay.
There's a floating list that happens.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's a floating list that just goes, hey, that's a thing. There's not really it's not immediate. So it just kind of floats.
But us talking about it, you hear that maybe fixing the meds would fix the other lists.
Absolutely.
So how is that not an immediate?
It feels overwhelming. If I'm being honest, it feels overwhelming.
Which part? Contacting the lady to schedule it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the part where I go, hey, I'm also frustrated with myself about that. It's like that time, we talk about this a lot, but like that time that I was almost out of vitamins and like I had to order, and you just pulled over the cart in Costco and was like, order them right now.
Yeah.
That task seemed so overwhelming to me that's why I didn't get done. And so it was on my floating list of things to do, and I just ran out of time, and it wouldn't have gotten done unless you would have done that. So
for something like now, that past experience doesn't... you can't like trust past you and be like, no, super easy to do that.
It's sometimes, but I can't. I mean, that's part of my fucking broken brain thing, where it's like I don't have full control over that motivation. If something feels overwhelming, then I have to just come around to it.
Have to.
Yeah.
Even if it is time sensitive?
Yeah. Deadlines help.
Yeah.
Because then I'll get in trouble. So, but yeah, stuff like that, man, it's really hard for me to control, and that's really frustrating, and I know how dumb it is. It's frustrating because I know how dumb it is. It's
well,
like,
no one said it was dumb.
Just call the fucking lady, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's easy. I know it's stupid. I can't fucking... It's like... It's the same thing we talked about, I don't know how many episodes ago, but sometimes there would be people that I want to reach out to or something like that, and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's easy and simple.
I get that. I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah, but I do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that. Those are the phone calls where I'm like, hey, I need to check in with this person, or I've been thinking about them. And I don't, can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get on some different meds.
Yeah, I'm thinking heroin.
Ooh.
Really get some shit done around here.
Napping, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe try meth if you want to get some shit done.
I'm currently on meth. It's not doing much.
Yeah.
Need to up my dosage.
All right, what'd you talk about this week?
We're done with you. Maybe. Let's keep going. That's what you talked about. That's it.
Yeah, I have trouble just being. Nah, not as much lately, but I'm hardwired to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think like Saturday too is like, does it help that it's not like a big, there's not a lot we can do until then or during then. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
what I have to keep telling myself.
Yeah.
Is like, until we need to leave, there's literally nothing we can do.
Yeah. Does that help at all?
Yeah, that's the thing I keep repeating to myself when I'm like, what the fuck am I missing on Saturday? Nothing.
Yeah.
We got to leave on time. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah. What'd you talk about this week?
Let's take a little commercial break and then.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute.
I took a bunch of tests this week. That's what the fuck I did in therapy.
Nice.
Because we started to catch up, and then he was like, "Well, what do you want to work on today?" Mm. And I said, "I would love to get back into EMDR and parts work and all that stuff." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that." And he goes, "Is there anything on your mind? Like, what have you been working on lately? What have you been thinking about? Like, let's listen to your body. Let's listen to your feelings. Like, what do you want to talk about?" And kind of something in the similar vein we were just talking about, where I was like, I'm in like this upgrade era, as I've been referring to it, and doing all these things in my life to improve and upgrade these, whatever. But I'm having a real hard time applying it to myself. I'm doing the easy things. The things that like don't involve a lot of willpower and consistency and things like that. Like, sold my car, got a different car, got that figured out. Like, cool. I hadn't bought a TV in 10 years, like bought a new TV, did that kind of thing. Like, cool, great. So all these like things, replacing and upgrading, but yet my body is like screaming at me. It needs more physical attention. It needs to hike and fucking bike and go to the gym and all these things. It's like, I can feel it. I feel heavy. I feel sluggish. My body's just like screaming at me, and I'm not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like eating differently. I've been in survival mode because I was like traveling so much. I was eating like shit, and I just continued when I was home.
What is so much? Were you traveling that much?
Buddy, in the last 3 months, yeah. I was gone for almost a month solid 2 months ago. Do you not remember that?
Where'd you go?
I went to fucking Tennessee for 16 days, and then I went immediately to Dallas for 26 days, 23 days, something like that. So, like, yeah, I was gone for a month. That was
your Dallas time.
August.
You were just house sitting, right? You were just chilling?
Yeah. And I wasn't eating out as much then, but I was cooking a lot in Dallas.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've just been like having these little trips that are like 2 weeks here, a week there, kind of thing. Like, but they're spread out. But I'm continuing to just eat like shit when I'm home.
I see.
And my body is just like fucking, again, just yelling at me, just like being like, "Hey,
like shit.
We feel like shit.
Yeah.
We're putting on weight. Give us a fucking vegetable." And I'm like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Fucking go to the Habit. Take this cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And not great.
Yeah.
And I know these things need to be changed. I really want to change them. And I can't. And it's really frustrating. And I feel stuck because all this other stuff is improving in my life. And I can't make time or give energy to me. Do
you remember? Oh man, this had to be last year. It was during an episode. I said, and you got ouchie. You got ouchie.
Can't wait to hear this.
I said, you don't like to do things that are hard. Do you remember that? And you got ouchie.
Yeah.
Does that apply here?
No.
Okay.
What applies here is that it's just poor time management. I don't believe that I have enough time to do those things for myself because I come last. And so I have all this other shit that I need to get done, even though I have plenty of fucking time.
You got that floating schedule that works.
I have the floating schedule that works to my advantage. So it's again that, it's kind of like that where I'm like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I already don't think of myself, and especially when I'm overwhelmed, like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I don't have time to take care of myself right now because X, Y, and Z needs to get done. So, like, you're out of your fucking mind. But the problem is I never have time or think that I have time. Mm-hmm. And so I never take care of myself. It's a real issue.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Might be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Should we take a break first? Do we need a break?
We just took a break.
All right. I'm trying to get more ads. You don't have time.
Right.
How do you find time to play video games every day if you don't have time to take care of yourself?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I just thought of it.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but thanks. We'll see you next week here on Secondhand Therapy.
Secondhand, kill myself.
Because that doesn't, that feeds into kind of like my union break schedule where I need to give my brain a break. And so I'll go escape for a half hour and play a fucking video game and then get back to it, or do it, or like I'll make a sandwich and while I'm digesting, or like letting fucking food settle, I'll fucking.
You say while I'm digesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just eat and fucking do something right away?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nah, man.
Yeah, get on with my day.
Yeah, I eat and then take a minute. And
then
I'll play a quick round and then get back to whatever the fuck I got to do or whatever thing. So that kind of goes into my brain break and floating schedule. I need to get away from sitting in front of that computer for a minute.
Can you do that on a hike or at the gym? Or on a walk or a bike ride?
That would take too much time. That's where the time management comes in, right? So like I know that I can go in there and play around for 20 minutes and then come back. Going to the gym, that's an hour. Going for a hike, that's over an hour. Going for a walk even on the path we have here, that's 40 minutes. So like,
so why don't you just do a 20-minute walk?
That would make sense.
Well, that's my question.
But like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So I don't have time for that. That's where my brain goes. You don't have time for that.
Oh.
So
I feel like most times when you go for a walk, you're back in like 20 minutes.
Oh, no. That's a 40-minute walk.
Huh.
I did that walk today.
Yeah.
I was on the phone for most of it. I came back.
That's another thing I've been waiting to talk to you about for about a year.
47 minutes.
Yeah, if you do the full, I thought your walks like you just been going around the neighborhood.
Oh no, I do the whole. I walk all the way, almost down to. It's like the overpass that goes into downtown.
Yeah. That's where we go.
You don't like my phone calls on my walks? It's two birds, one stone.
Do you want to know the truth?
Sure.
Well, I do not like your phone calls.
Why? Why?
I feel like...
Why would that bother you?
It doesn't bother me.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about this before on here. You very much struggle to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on a walk or you're on a long drive, gotta be on the phone.
Yeah.
Gotta be on the phone. And I always, and you're always like, I just need a reset. I just want to go for a walk. And then you're immediately distracting yourself with a phone call or,
yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, just enjoy the walk.
Because I don't have time to make this phone call at any other point.
See, I don't believe that. I think you struggle to be alone in your own head. Because all these phone calls.
I don't do them on my hikes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just Instagram stories.
Sometimes I'll put up a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't take up the high. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I still think that counts as being alone.
Okay.
Or alone time.
Sure.
That's why the hikes are so important to me.
You don't find that your phone takes you out of the moment?
For the 2 seconds that I'm uploading a thing? No.
You feeling attacked?
No, I just don't think I don't think it's a justified statement of like.
It wasn't. It was a question.
I don't think the question is justified. No, because I'm taking a couple pictures and then I'll stand there for a minute and upload it, and then I go the rest of my way.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I'm not like checking or responding or doing any of that stuff. I'm just capturing and being like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Boom. Or it's like a cool shot. I'm like, all right, let's do that. And then, because one of the things I love doing is taking my camera up to the hike.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's distracting. I lean into that.
Okay.
Yeah. You think it's distracting?
Yeah, my phone takes me out of moments, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not checking it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't believe you. I think you're feeling attacked. We spent a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. I've never seen you take your phone out and not open at least 3 or 4 apps.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when it's different. I'm out there to like.
Okay.
It is on my walks. It's not, because I'm on my walks. I'm fucking.
You don't have to defend it. It doesn't matter what I think.
We're just having a conversation.
Okay.
So yeah, on my walks it's different because I will be distracted on my walks. I will have my apps in check and like call people and do all that. But on my hikes, that's me time.
Why is a walk not you time?
It should be. I don't know.
Feels different.
Yeah. Hiking, you're out. I feel more like, oh, I'm out here. Like it's more on purpose. A walk, you're just like, the walk feels like I'm checking this off my list. The hike feels like, oh, I'm purposely out here to like reset, fucking just get lost for a minute.
Get lost in the same hike every time?
Yeah.
Why don't you go on new hikes?
I take different pathways and things like that over there.
He's lying to us again, guys.
I'm not.
Okay.
You know why? You know why I don't go on you know why I don't? Because I don't have time for that. So the fact that I'm even making it over there to do it is a miracle. Now the idea of going somewhere new and don't have an idea of how much time it's going to take me, all that, buddy, now you're asking a lot of me. I have shit to do, and I don't have time for that.
But do you have that much shit to do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, you always think about that. Yeah, you always kind of press me on that. Buddy, yes.
Okay.
I was telling somebody the other day about what I was working on, and they were like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But the thing you're working on, you've been putting off for months.
Yes, but that doesn't. But I'm working on multiple things. You think I'm? I have a floating list.
Yeah, a floating list.
So I'm not ever just working on one thing. I'm working on. I mean, last week when I was working on just one thing, I put together 2 pitch packets for other projects, edited both episodes of this, chopped it up, like did all that stuff. Planned the trip that I'm supposed to be on right now.
Yeah.
yeah, so all that was going on in the background while I was like working on like this one thing.
Do you find that to be an effective way to accomplish your tasks?
No, I think the effective way to be hire a fucking team. um, yeah, the floating list works for me. Unfortunately, yeah, I got all that shit done.
Okay.
I mean,
so you're not interested in trying a new system to see if you could be more efficient or.
Maybe.
Why are you so hesitant to change?
Because if it doesn't work out, then I'm behind even more than I am right now.
Why?
So, why? What do you mean why? If it fails, then I got to play catch up, and I'm already feeling like I got to play catch up. So I'm already feeling like I'm drowning, and you want me to try and implement a new system and like learn it and do it? Like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I need to get this done. I'm drowning. And so you want me to learn a new fucking way to swim right now? Like, I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to keep my head above water, man.
Yeah. And someone's saying, hey, can I tell you how to swim? And you're like, don't have time. I'm drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if that method doesn't work,
you're still drowning.
Then I'm really drowning. Then I'm underwater trying to get to the fucking surface.
Interesting.
Right now, my head's above water. Yeah.
What if it does work? Then what?
Man, I mean, the dream is to be on a boat, you know? Get out of the water. Yeah.
You know you can't get on a boat unless you try to get on a boat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you waiting for?
I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to get seasick.
This fucking guy. I forget how you... Yeah. That honestly is like the perfect answer.
No.
Like, yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that. Afraid I'm going to get seasick. That is you in a nutshell.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that does sound frustrating.
Let's take another break.
All right. Be back in a minute, guys. He's going to go swimming.
Hey, it's the Maloney Pony, and...
I'm not acknowledging you as the Maloney Pony.
Well, why would you not do that?
Because I wanted you to be Mama Bear, and you fucked it up.
No, you didn't, or else I would be Mama Bear. You're listening to Secondhand Therapy, and we hope you're enjoying the show. If you are enjoying the show, check us out on Patreon. You can show your support there and buy merch and all kinds of crazy stuff. Check us out on Patreon. Help support the show. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
So I took these assessment tests.
Yeah.
Because he was like, all right, well, let's get to the fucking root.
Yeah, the root. I love the root.
Let's see where your brain's broke. So we got in there, and I took 3 different tests.
Okay. Autism?
No autism test.
Me neither. I tried. They didn't have openings till next year.
That's insane.
So I'm hoping for a cancellation so I can get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the first test we took was it was all centered around like abandonment issues for some reason. Because he was wondering why.
For some reason.
I don't know.
He probably listens to your stories.
Yeah.
Fucking figured it out.
This guy has a hunch, you know? He's like, hold on a minute.
Throw it to the wall, see if it sticks.
Well, I didn't connect abandonment to what I was like. I was like, oh, I'm feeling stuck. Like, why can't I do this for myself? And he's like, let's talk about abandonment issues. I'm like, okay.
Okay, weirdo. Fine.
Yeah, whatever. That's fucking weird kink. So we did this first thing about like, do you, it's kind of general questions about like, do you have a fear of, have people like come in and out of your life and this and that and whatever. And I scored like a moderate score on that.
Yeah. You're like, well, either they die or I don't let them leave.
Yeah. So,
what is that called?
Either way. Either way, I carry them with me.
Hey.
And my back hurts. So the second one was about family. And it was about childhood and the upbringing and all that stuff. And everything that he read, it was like, did you ever feel like you were neglected as a child? I was like, no. And he's like, did you ever feel like your mother wasn't hearing you or that she didn't understand you? And I was like, no. And he's like, did you ever, he's like, kept going on with that. And we got to the end of it and I go, everything that you listed was almost the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. And I go, yeah, man. I mean, the exact opposite. Like, my mother understood me. My mother listened to me. She fucking smothered me. We were more friends than we were, like, parent and son. Like, all these things. Like, almost the exact opposite. He's like, okay. And he made some notes, and I was like, well, that's weird. I'll make note for that. Seems like a good thing. And then...
trying to gas up my mom here.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Turns out, not a good thing.
Yeah.
So then we got to the last thing, and he said, this last one's about relationships. And I said, oh, this should be a fun one.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, indeed. And that, you know what? That's the one I scored the highest on.
Well.
Yeah.
All right.
Questions like, in relationships, do you find yourself sticking up for your needs? Absolutely not.
Define sticking up. Sub question. Define a need. Never had one.
Never had one.
I'm needless.
Yeah. All the questions were kind of like that.
Yeah.
And all of my answers were like, never would I ever do that.
Yeah.
And even though, like, even when I do, I cave or give in kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it got down to, do you find yourself choosing partners that are often cold or not giving the attention that you are giving to them?
And now I've known your last two partners. How'd you answer that one?
100%. Yeah. So he said, oh, this is what we should be focusing on for a while. This abandonment issue that you have with relationships. And then he hit me with the thing about mom stuff. When he was going through the analysis of like what the answers mean and all that stuff, he was like, oh yeah, that's also a bad thing, because then you have never had to, again, learn how to be uncomfortable. You've never had to experience a lot of these things, because she would take the bulk weight of it. So yeah, fuck me up. So apparently I have a lot of abandonment issues, and that is going to be the main focus of our therapy and our EMDR and parts work here on out.
Have you identified any parts during parts work yet?
No. No. We only did... I haven't done parts work yet. We did EMDR once, and then we went mining for some stuff. And then we talked about what parts work was going to look like, but we haven't actually done it yet.
Okay, so
yeah.
Tell me more
about my abandonment issues.
Yeah, how I still don't understand how it connects to the mom stuff.
The mom stuff.
Your mom never taught you how to grow up. basically.
Yeah, I never had to face anything. Yeah, she would handle everything. And the things that we didn't handle, the things like the tragedies in life, we didn't process them.
Yeah.
It was keep it moving. So even when I was faced with something that wasn't fixable by her, you know what I mean? Like, then it didn't get resolved anyways. We moved on. We pushed it down. We fucking moved on because there's nothing we could do to change it anyways. So what's the point in dwelling on it? So yeah, I never had to deal with any of that. And so when it comes to life stuff, I'm abandoning myself, and that's why I'm feeling stuck, because I don't know how to stand up for myself. I don't know how to give a fuck about myself. Somebody's always done that for me, whether it's in relationships or with my mother. Somebody has always looked out for me. I've never had to look out for myself. And I don't know really how to do that. Because that also feeds into the deserving part of it. In relationships, what goes hand in hand with my abandonment issues is something we've talked about on here. I just didn't know it was related to that, which is the just happy to be here. I don't think I deserve to be picked. I think that you made a mistake. You loving me is a mistake. You're going to find out sooner or later that I am too much, that I am unlovable, that you made a mistake and I should not be here. And until that happens, I'm trying to lay low and not cause waves. And yeah, just happy to be here.
Do you find that you've struggled to be yourself around people?
No, I don't.
How do you prevent them from seeing the too much?
Again, it's not about hiding who I am. It's just not enough exposure of who I am. Again, early on, like you're only getting doses of me.
Right.
And yeah, I'm fucking great. And then you get to know me, you hang out with me, and you're like, oh, this guy's out of his fucking mind. This guy's anxiety with legs. So I think that that can be very overwhelming in relationships with me. And I think that is not an attractive quality. And I think that is where the coldness comes in.
Why is that where the coldness comes in? I don't understand.
All my relationships start hot and heavy. And then it's almost like they are they see who I am, and then they don't even want anything to do with me. And that's not their fault. That's, again, like... it's because I feel like blaming.
I got an assessment for you. You ever stood up for yourself and said it was somebody else's fault for their own behavior?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, how people treat you is absolutely their fault. They're responsible for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Our last break.
Finally fucking...
And I got a question for you when we get back.
Great.
In 1 minute. 1 minute. So my question, do you, looking back and reflecting, do you think that your behaviors are because you're trying to evoke certain responses and behavior from your partners?
What do you mean?
Because you were saying if it's not their fault,
Yeah.
they get cool. That means it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
are you behaving in a way to try to not get them to cool? So that way you're a good boy and it's not your fault they're leaving? Or like, do you think there's anything deeper there?
Not getting them to what?
Like leave or get cold on you?
Oh, to gag. No, I think that, again, I think it is just more exposure to me. And I don't know. I think people have an idea of who I am. And then when they get to know me and they realize that's not who I am, I think that's the issue.
How long do you think it takes them to realize who you are?
Six months?
Okay.
Maybe a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have a question for you?
Okay.
Well, you were in about a year-long situationship
Yeah.
with a woman that was not cold.
Yeah.
It was very warm to you.
Yeah.
And after a year, you decided that was not for you anymore.
Yeah.
Why?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thanks for...
We run out of time so much around here. We don't have time for a full episode.
We don't have time for it. I got to take a walk.
I got a floating list of things.
I didn't know how to accept that love at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Nobody has ever been that nice to me. Nobody had ever yeah, I don't know. I wasn't ready for that. And it was a different time in my life too, where I didn't take any time in between relationships, and it was just bad timing. And I've often wondered what it would be like later if I had met them just a little bit later and had some time in between to get over my past relationship before jumping into what would be a situationship. That also was not the plan. The plan was supposed to be casual at first.
Yeah, your plan's always casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys see each other 6 days a week, and, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't know how to accept that love. I didn't know how to, I didn't know what to do with it. And I told her when she came forward with wanting to be more serious with me, I tried to talk her out of it by telling her that, like, you might think you want to be with me, or you might think this is what you want. I'm telling you it's not. I'm telling you that that was a fun episode. Telling you that I am not lovable long term.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of what kind of woman it takes? Or have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, I think it's going to take a village, I think, to... it's gonna need more than one.
The fucking sluttiest answer of all
No,
time.
I think about that all the time. Because
I'd like to say that's a fucking great joke, by the way. I want to give that credit. That was incredible. Perfect timing and everything. All right. What kind of woman?
I don't know. Because I don't think I'll know what kind of love that I'm ready for until I know what kind of love that I can give myself and what kind of love that I can truly give someone else. That's not mixed in with not trying to cause waves and people pleasing and being happy to be there, and it's just showing up in a way that is more real than it's been before.
Do you find in your casual things that you do now that do you feel yourself people pleasing or with the happy to be here feeling?
No. I think those things come later. Trying to get them to stay. Not trying to get them in general. Yeah, because, abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's really interesting because I also it's weird to think about that or goals to have in mind with love. I still feel the same way I did months ago when we were talking about it, where it was like sometimes I do feel lonely, and that I do feel like, oh man, I'd love to have somebody and be in a relationship. And then I'm out in the world and I see couples that are having what I desire, and it's such a turnoff for me because I think about the constant energy and work that goes into a good, healthy relationship. And I know that I'm not ready to do that yet because I feel like I'm using a lot of that energy and consistency and like all that stuff right now on myself. And
are you?